I actually would disagree with that. I think, especially through the early and mid game, Hammy was absolutely controlling those team fights with the Sky. We know Hammy just loves his Crystal Power heroes, regardless of where he is. He's played the Celeste, but the Celeste is actually going to get banned, and then that leaves now Churnwalker. We finally get to see Churnwalker get picked up. He's been let through the draft a few times, actually, pretty much in every game thus far today. Finally, he's going to get grabbed, but Rogue going to be running this Shrinwalker. We know that is a pick that Evol on. I'm very surprised that Rona is still untouched at the moment.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a surprise with that Krull on the board. We do talk about Krull being very good into other melee heroes. Rona is not necessarily the case in that scenario, just because of the ability for Rona to stack up that breaking point at a just substantially higher rate than Krull. I mean, we're talking about, Rona's going to be where Krull's going to be struggling to get into the double digits at all. So I think this is a really smart pick by the side of Vision Gaming here. They have themselves a this time around.
If you can't beat it, join it. That's going to be the strategy here. Almost identical to the Rogue draft of game 1. The only difference being the Arden in place of a Grace. And now members of Rogue, they're going to have to figure out how they want to deal with a Sky Rona. Obviously, the Krull, like you mentioned, can do well into Rona just because of the weakness stacks. If you build up those weakness stacks, the Red Mist suddenly doesn't hurt quite as much, although it is tactful. I feel like they need to get something that's going to be able to deal with the Sky pick, but you also have to think about how you're Churnwalker, because you need someone. Churnwalker is one of those heroes that if you don't have a team that synergizes well with him, he just doesn't really have levels of effect that you need. The very smart pick here going into the Rona, but obviously the other thing we haven't really talked about is the Krull Sky. Sky should be in control of this Krull from the start.
Yeah, that would really be if Krull's allowed to latch onto your Sky early on. It's going to be no fun, and you're really going to need to be using the Surrey Strike effectively to get yourself the most optimal distance away from that Krull. But yes, for almost this entire game, this Krull really should struggle thanks to the composition put together by the side of Vision. Vox, however, coming out, that is something that can be a very strong pick into just about any hero to some degree. Even the Rona, the ability for Vox to kind of dance around. And this is going to be one of the circumstances that we do see Hammy rotate into the lane, and Sib's going to go ahead and pick up that Krull for the jungle.
Well, we are going to get ready for game number 2 of this final series for the Halcyon Elite League. Champion will be crowned tonight. As we get onto the Halcyon fold, it is Vision Gaming on the A side, down 1 game to the side of Rogue. Coming on the B side, Churnwalker is going to be making an appearance here in the finals. And we've talked about Evol and his proficiency with this hero. I'm excited to see these trespasses coming through. It's going to be extremely important for Shaded Talent to be able to block those ultimates.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and I do believe he should be able to do so. But we have a very aggressive rotation coming out of the side of Vision Gaming here, going straight for that Treant.
And this is something that Vision Gaming did a few times yesterday as well. Just go very aggressive, but Evol gets the Elder Treant with the chains. That should never. That is such little damage, but because it just ticks every second, and he somehow ended up being the one that got the last hit. That is got to be so demoralizing for the side of Vision to see that happen.
It definitely does not feel good in that situation. So
that's like a 15 damage tick, if even, that just stole the Elder Treant.
Yeah, more importantly, that was a bit of wasted time coming out of the side of Vision Gaming there, who were trying to get an edge early and are unfortunately going to be unable to do so. Again, Evol never ceases to impress me.
That's not really credit Evol for that. Like, that is just That is just blind luck, but we are going to be seeing the second rotation now and see what is going to be taken up here. Evil, again, going aggressive with the team. He's down, so the damage share pulling PvP Warrior back. PvP Warrior's in trouble. He's not quite going to go down just yet, but Sibs tries to chase him down, does not get the kill. However, it will force members of Rogue to have to, or members of Vision have to be very careful, as that Treant will get smited away. Sibs takes that for himself. Now here comes Kaz rotating over. Hammy thinking about joining in, but he sees that the fight actually isn't happening. He just goes right back to the lane.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be a fairly slow start. The Crystal Sky in the lane takes a pretty substantial amount of time to come online. I mean, he's gonna have to get into the mid game before he starts to have any kind of damage spike. Needs to use the forward barrage in the right direction to get his CS. No point is he really a huge damage threat. He's more of an in-your-face nuisance, try to force you back kind of play style. And Rona coming out of the jungle, as we've mentioned before. Sibs played it the other day in the jungle. It can struggle a little bit because Rona needs to get to the late game to abuse her sustainability and her actual power spikes. I really would have liked to see the Sky in the jungle in this matchup and the Rona in the lane.
Well, right now, the jungle matchup is just the way of Sibs and Rogue. You see the CS numbers, while it is a bit closer than you might expect, Sibs has just been in control. Rogue has gotten the Elder Treant every single spawn. They've been able to get into the jungle and steal away some of those minions, but Kaz is going to be just trying to farm up in the lane at the moment. I would have much rather to see the Kaz should be sticking in the jungle. It's very strange. Have suddenly changed what has gotten them this far, as now PvP Warrior going to be jumping in with this Rona, just doesn't have a ton of damage, and that's one of the issues of putting the Rona in the jungle. You are so delayed on getting your item spikes that you just are. It's going to be so much longer before you become this massive threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the Sky as well, the advantage that a Sky should have over the Krull in the jungle, the Rona doesn't have that. The ability to damage the Krull without actually being in combat with the Krull at the same time. And Evil and Hammy, they've done a great job with the pressure in the lane here. A bunch of return damage has been put down on Hammy. Thanks to the Book of Eulogies, he'll be able to sustain just a little bit better than Kaz. And that's, the kind of things that we really have to look out for. Hammy, despite having got low several times, was able to heal up off the wave. He was able to safely push, and because of that, he has a 10 CS lead over Kaz at this point.
And 10 CS lead for Hammy over Kaz, and it's almost double the CS. Actually, it is now double the CS over PvP Warrior in the jungle. Just goes to show how aggressive Rogue has been in this matchup, as PvP Warrior will finally get to farm up his own jungle once again, although Sibs is going to be hot on his heels as he goes into his backs. Isn't going to be able to find anything there with the sentries spawned. They don't want to go chasing into the enemy jungle, but now they might look to make a play here on the turret, as all three members of Rogue have grouped up here, but Shaded Talent will be trying to delay those minions just a little bit, but the turret is still going. Regardless, Rogue just winning out on pressure. There goes a wait for it. It's going to get a silence onto PvP Warrior, but Kaz is the target. Spectral Smite nearly gets the kill, but doesn't quite take him down, as the healing came through just in time from Shaded Talent. Rogue continuing to pressure this turret. Now moving on to the tier 2 turret. They come up from the jungle. Sibs does, at least, again, just looking to steal away as much as they can, looking to put as much pressure onto Vision Gaming, forcing them to stay up near their turret. They realize, okay, the backs aren't spawned. We can't. Let's just take away this sentry. And this is Rogue once again finding a complete control over this game, but doing it very, very early here in game 2.
Yeah, definitely early on, and a Shiver Steel already picked up by Sibs is actually going to be very helpful at trying to get onto the Sky and lock the Sky down. Hammy, meanwhile, has picked up the Serpent's Mask for his first item and has built quite a substantial amount of attack speed. Obviously, going to be going into that breaking point for his second item, and then maybe even going into a double tornado trigger for just a massive amount of attack speed, as well as going for just the sheer amount of critical force that can help apply, as well as just the fact that you build up your breaking point that much quicker. So definitely smart plays coming out of Hammy though. So thus far, we really have to focus on Kaz here. He's got the Dragon's Eye online, and this is where he can start to be a threat for Sibs and Evol.
Absolutely going to be, I mean, can start to, but that's only if they can find these fights. Right now, Rogue is still just controlling this map. They're controlling every single aspect of this game at the moment. You see Gold Miner is being worked on very, very, very slowly by Sibs because it is a Krull with only a heavy steel for damage, but he just is able to stay on it infinitely, pretty much, as long as no one comes to interfere. But here comes the interference, and now it's going to be PvP Warrior getting in there. Nice gauntlet going to come down, but again, Evol just keeping everyone chained up. This damage share is going to start doing a lot. There's a trespass to get the triple stun. PvP Warrior is going to out over the wall, and that's going to be the chase on to Kaz as well. 2 kills for Rogue. Crystal Sentry is going to get defeated a second time at just 8 minutes in, and Rogue again just finding advantages seemingly every single time they look for a fight.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case. It felt that way for a majority of the first game as well, and they've done nothing shy of making the consistent fact here for game 2, and it's really been forcing the hand of the side of Vision. Kaz hasn't been able to keep up on CS as much as he'd like to. Hammy sitting just shy of 100. Kaz just now barely getting over 70, sitting at 75 off of that wave. So we can definitely see the build progression much heavier on the side of Rogue. They've got a 4,000 gold lead, and a big portion of that is in the jungle as well. I mean, Sib's sitting at 53 CS on a Krull to PvP Warriors 26 on the Rona, and that is not...
Yeah, I mean, there are games that end with a Krull sitting on 53 CS, and this is just absolute control. There's a From Hell's Heart stunning up Kaz and an immediate kill. Then Rona gets stunned with a trespass. Rogue is just unstoppable right now and absolutely having their way with Vision Gaming. The turret is going to be targeted as Krull goes and once again starts to slowly work on the Gold Miner with a breaking point. The damage isn't really that much more than when he had the Shiver Steel, because he can't ramp that up on a Gold Miner. It will take a while, but once Hammy gets here, it's going to go a bit quicker, and they will be able to secure that Gold Miner. I wouldn't be surprised if they, shortly decide to just walk into the enemy jungle and eliminate the sentry from the opponent's side as Evol, showing that, maybe that Elder Treant wasn't a fluke, as he goes and gets the last hit on the Gold Miner as well with that hook and chain.
Yeah, definitely. It's just been a matter of Rogue keeping the aggression up. They've been able to find every fight. Hammy into the double tornado trigger. He did end up going with the bone saw, and this does also make a bit of sense. The threat that's going to be in your face is this Rona, and she is starting to build some armor, so being able to shred through some of that with the armor breaker that Hammy's building definitely is helpful for him. The clockwork is complete for Kaz, and while the Dragon's Eye is a big power spike for Skye, the clockwork feels to me more of just the maintaining energy. It doesn't have the huge impact on the fight the way we would see out of something like a Broken Myth coming out of this build.
And we'll see if it will have any sort of impact. Right now, nothing that Vision Gaming has done has had much of an impact in this game. We're gonna get engaged upon a bit here. It's just Sibs and Hammy. Evol isn't even close to them at the moment. He finally is gonna get there. He does get stunned by the gauntlet, but it doesn't even matter. You see Shaded Talent already so low. PvP Warrior is the target, as the Treant and the Sentry are involved here. That's going to be the first kill, goes onto Kaz. And Crystal Sentry gets eliminated, and Rogue just going to be walking on up to the lane. Trespass doesn't even do anything because the target was already dead. You see Shaded Talent just trying to hold these minions and prevent Rogue from being able to do much of a push, but they have 2 minions with them. That's all you need to strip away the barrier from the turret. You only need one down the choke point turret, and now Shaded Talent, he is going to be in a world of trouble. I do not see him being able to get out of this situation whatsoever. He knows it. He's just going running under the enemy turrets just to try and buy as much time as he can. And that's going to be Hammy letting him live for a second longer, then picking up the kill. But this, I mean, Vision Gaming, they look absolutely deflated right now. There's nothing that they've been able to do this game.
No, and it's just been Rogue at every single step, finding fight after fight. Sibs doing such a great job helping lock down targets, which allows Hammy to build up that breaking point a little bit safer, and it's really worked out well for them. They've got a 7-0 lead. They've got a 10,000 gold lead here approaching the 13-minute mark. Kraken not even on the board, but once she is, it'll be the side of Rogue, looking to just go ahead and start it up. Worst case scenario, realistically, is and win the game off of a fight. So that is something that the side of Vision do have to be prepared for as this game goes further on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rogue, going a little bit unconventional with this Vox build from what we typically see, as he has his 4th offensive at 13 minutes, but with a Serpent's Mask, Bone Saw, a spell sword. Not really something that we typically see out of the Vox, but it really almost feels like they could build whatever they wanted to. You see Evol tries to pull everyone back, but they actually broke the chains just before he could. Doesn't really seem like it's going to matter though, as PvP Warrior is the target. Kaz is going to get stunned up. There's a trespass for another stun. PvP Warrior and Kaz both very low. Will be the kill onto PvP Warrior. But now Rogue with a minion wave here, gonna try and push in underneath these Bane Crystal turrets. Kaz trying to do what he can to delay. He does clear out the minion wave, which will delay things just a little bit longer. Rogue has to back away into the jungle. There's no sentry for them to take, so this is just them clearing out the jungle just to make sure that there is no gold available to the members of Vision Gaming aside from what's coming in through the lane.
Yeah, and it makes it so difficult to deal with. Sibs is so far ahead on this Crow right now. He feels essentially unkillable. And with Evol able to pull Kaz kind of back into the kill zone of this Vox, Hammy never really has to overcommit too much. And because of just the sheer aggression and the dominating force the side of Rogue has had, Hammy's been able to complete his 4th offensive item under the 15-minute mark. And even with this low defense, he doesn't ever really feel in danger from the side of Vision. So Rogue, again, 15-minute mark is approaching. They'll either look for a kill and then take the Kraken, or they'll just look to start up the Kraken and force a fight.
Well, right now they're looking to force a fight. Vision Gaming are having none of it as they back away. Kraken has just spawned, as you mentioned, Denomine, and that very well could just be Rogue. I mean, I would expect them to just go straight towards it, but you know what? They say, hey, the jungle's about to respawn. Let's clear that out first. Once again, denying all of this potential gold away from our opponents. Kaz going to do what he can over the wall, but just is really only tickling the members of Rogue at this point. As Rogue set up, they're around the area for Kraken. It's going to be PvP Warrior. Does get the Treant. That's a little bit of a consolation prize there. But Rogue, like you said, they should just start up this Kraken. There's not really a way that Vision Gaming can contest them here. Even if they get a steal, you're just looking to force the fight at this point. You have such a large lead. 2-on-3, Evol and Hammy, they're still feeling confident. PvP Warrior is going extremely low and will get out alive for now. Meanwhile, you see Sibs just working on the Kraken. Evol is actually going to drop extremely low, but he still has his fountain. Finally does pop that. Keeps Hammy alive. PvP Warrior trying to get in to get damage onto Hammy. Sibs has given up on the Kraken so he can come join this fight. They're going to get onto the PvP Warrior. They get the kill. Evol does fall. So perfect game broken up. But now Hammy gets the second kill. Sibs finds the ace. And with that, they will turn their attention back to this Kraken, or at least Sibs will. Hammy wants to take this jungle again.
Yeah, Vision, they were able to put their first kill on the board, but again, it was onto Evil, and anytime you trade out a captain for even a carry, even is realistically a win, and to trade out your captain for an ace, definitely time. And while Sibs doesn't do a lot of damage to the Kraken himself, he's now been joined by Hammy with the 4-item offensive build here on box. Help that Krull do a bit of damage as well. We're able to take that down no problem at all. Krull just so good at sitting there smacking that Kraken, healing himself up, was never really at a risk at all.
And now Rogue looking to go in with Kraken pushing. This could very well be the final fight of the game. PvP Warrior trying to do what he can to stack up. It's just not going to be doing enough. He's melting down. That's a stun onto Kaz. See Evil trying to get those chains out onto targets so that he can maybe look for that big trespass stun. But for now, Rogue, they're just going to wait for Kraken to get here and join them in this push. They know that they have the massive advantage. Echo just finished for Shaded Talent, but he doesn't have his ult available for 70 seconds. So that's not even going to be that useful. Guard. First turret destroyed. They're in onto the second one. Sib's going very low. Will heal up with the Spectral Smite as the turret falls. He's still staying alive somehow in the thick of this, as they do get a couple of kills traded, but the Kraken is going to end this game. Evil actually gets the last hit on the Vein Crystal just for good measure, and the game is over. Rogue absolutely dominant here in this final series thus far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a crazy game 2 there. Again, Rogue, complete control at all points of game 2 as well. If game 3 is anything like the first 2, then Rogue might be able to close things out in a 3-0 fashion. But we cannot count Vision out. They play absolutely phenomenal, and if they can pull things together here for game 3, they definitely can turn the tides of battle.
It's going to be a tough task at this point. The way Rogue have looked, these games have been so clean for them. And it's going to turn around from the side of Vision. Maybe